Alright, so today we're going to be doing drawing parallel box plots. So the last lesson you have had was interpreting them, so we're going to do a little bit of interpreting, but I'll just go through how you draw them to make sure you know that. So in this example we have the number of text messages received by a group of students in 1 hour. So for males, this is how many each male received in text messages in the hour. And for the females, this is how many text messages each female received in that hour. Okay, in part A it says find the 5 number summary for each sex. I'm not going to go through that now because we've done that enough already. So you've just got to enter all the male scores on your calculator and then remember how to do shift 1, 5 for min-max, and then get each of the things off the min-max. So you need to get off there the minimum, Q1, median, Q3 and max. Just do them all separately. Just keep going back to shift 1, 5 and do each one separately till you've got the 5 of them written down. Then you just write them down like that in order from smallest to largest. That is your 5 number summary for the males. Again, you're going to do the same thing for the females. You're going to take the list of females up here and put all those in your calculator statistics mode, and then again do shift 1, 5 for min-max and find each of these 5 things for the females and then write them in increasing order. So that's already been done last lesson, so we've got those already done on the board. Now we're getting to the part where we have to draw the parallel box and whisker plots to display the data. Okay, so to do this, you're going to look at the 5 number summary for the males and the 5 number summary for the females all together. So when we do that, if we have a look at the whole thing, our minimum for the whole lot is here. So that will be our lowest number because it's lower than that minimum there. Then our highest out of the whole lot, that maximum is 7, but this one is 10. So that's going to be the maximum for the whole lot. So we know that we've got to set up a scale from 0 through to 10. So that's what I've done here. You get your ruler, rule it up and make sure it's all measured out properly from 0 through to 10. Then the next thing you do is just do the box plots one at a time. So we're going to look at the male numbers here. So we want to put these numbers, just mark dots for them, 0, 1, 2, 4 and 7. Now I've already started to do this. Okay, so here's my 0, 1, 2, 4 and 7. Now make sure that they are in the same straight line, same distance above the scale down here. Then we're going to draw up our box and whisker plot. So remember, the whiskers are from the first dot, use your ruler, first dot to the second dot, and from the last dot to the second last dot. Let's move that up a bit. Okay, they're the whiskers, and then we draw the box around the rest of it. Now remember, you can have this any width, it doesn't matter, but just remember we're going to do another box plot on top of it, so don't make it too wide. So I'm just going to make this one pretty skinny. And the same sort of width over here. And then just use your ruler to make sure this is all even. And don't forget this dot in the middle here. And that's it. That's the box and whisker plot drawn up for the males. So you do actually have to write on it somewhere that is the males. So I'll just write it over on the side there. Now I'm going to change colour to do the females so that it looks different because it's got to be a different looking thing, but it's on the same scale so I can compare them. Okay, so this time we've got these numbers, 2, 4, 5, 7, 10. So I'm going to come above here. Oops. Just make sure I'm trying to line it up properly. Okay, so it's 2, 4, 5, 7, and 10. Okay, once I've got the 5 dots drawn there, I'll just make them a bit bigger so you can see them. I'm going to draw the whisker part in first. So from the first to the second dot, there's your first whisker. Put the ruler along the whole lot of the dots. And from the last to the second last dot, that's your whiskers. Then we're drawing the box around the rest. Now try and keep it the same width as the one we just drew if you can. It's a little bit off that one, I'll just fix it up a little bit. Okay, and that's the box and whisker plot for the females. Then just somewhere near it, in the same colour as you just used, write females. Okay, so we're now going to make sure you've got down the bottom here what we're actually talking about. So it's number of text messages in an hour, right? And this is from the males and this is for the females. Okay, part C, find the interquartile range for each sex. I'm not going to go through that too much because we've done that before, but you can go straight from these numbers. The interquartile range is Q3 minus Q1 for the males, so 4 minus 1, which will give you 3. And then for the females, interquartile range will be Q3 minus Q1, which will be 7 minus 4, and that also gives you 3. Okay, so then we are, sorry, just couldn't see that, could you? I'll just move it over a bit because we need to move over to the other one. All right, so now we're looking at the range, and the range you should know how to do because we did that in year 8. So it's the highest number minus the lowest number. So if you go back to the males, our highest was 7. If you can, no, you can't still see it. If the highest for the males was 7, minus the lowest was 0, that will give us a range of 7. And for the females, we're doing for the range the highest minus the lowest. So we've got 10 minus 2, that gives us a range of 8. Now the whole point of doing these sorts of things, if you ever get a job in statistics, no point just collecting a whole bunch of statistics. They're going to want you to make conclusions from those statistics, and that's what this is doing. So it says compare the number of text messages that males and females receive. Are there any significant differences between the spread of the two sets of data? All right, so if we have a look at what we've done so far, so the parallel box plot should give you a good indication of what's going on here, all right, and our answers that we've got here. So the spread is talking about the interquartile range and the range, all right, so measuring the spread away from the middle, that's what the range does because we're doing highest minus lowest. That is a spread of scores, how far they've spread away, okay, and the interquartile range is the same, it's how far the first quartile and the third quartile have spread away from the mean, okay, or from the middle. So that's what we've done here. Now, if you have a look at the interquartile range, it's 3 for males and 3 for females. There's no difference. It's the same, okay? And in the range, when we look at these, the males' range was 7 and the females' range was 8. Well, that's only one difference, so it's not really worth commenting too much about. We can make some sort of a comment, but it's not a significant difference. And the question over here says, are there any significant differences? That means major differences. So really, when we get to that part of the question, there's really not much difference at all in the spread of the scores between the males and the females. But there must be some difference. Okay, so if you have a look at your box and whisker plot, this actually displays it really well. So if you have a look at the males, the main part of the box itself is down here, right, between about 1 and 4. And here, the females is between about 4 and 7. Also, if you look at the median, which is the line here, and this median, this one for the females is a lot further up here than the males is. Okay, so we can make some really big comments on the box plot. Okay, so this is what we're going to write. The females receive a lot more text messages in the hour. Okay, so what we're saying here is the females receive a lot more text messages in the hour than the males. This can be seen because their median is higher and their Q1 and Q3 are higher. So if you have a look back at the box plot, you'll see what I'm talking about. This is a higher median, it's further up this way. The median here was 5, should be lined up with that 5. So the median was 5 here, and the median was 2 for the males. So the median for the females was a lot higher than the males. Also, if you look at Q3, the Q3 for females was 7, Q3 for males was 4. So that's a lot higher too. And if you look at Q1, the Q1 for the females was 4, and Q1 for the males was 1. So that's a lot higher. So you've got Q1 higher, median higher, Q3 higher. It looks really obvious now by looking at the box plots that the females definitely receive a lot more text messages than the males do. So that's the main conclusion we can say about that. With the differences in the spread, as you can see, we can say no real differences, no significant differences in spread. So the spread is measured by the interquartile range and the range. Sorry, I'll just move this down a bit. So when you are looking at commenting here, they often give you a hint of what they want beforehand in what they've asked you. So the fact they've asked you about interquartile range and range means that they want you to look at this somehow in commenting over here as well. And that's where that comes in down the bottom. Okay, so have a go at the homework and just see how you go with this. If you're confused with anything, let me know.